Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting list video. I know Travis is particularly excited about this time. We're going to talk about the weakest investigator from each cycle that we think is the weakest, and we're going to dive into why we think that, going from core all the way to parallel. And we have the book promo. No, we don't have the book promos. We have the parallel. That's the one that we're adding for fun. Yeah. The parallel investigators. Because with book promos, like really the only one that's left is Gloria, and then she is both the strongest and the weakest of the book promos that are left. Yeah. Grandma's tough. All right, let's start with the core set, where we have Schizo Tools all the way down.
He's like not great.
Yeah, there's really not too much to say. I mean, except for the fact that like I think at this point now his ability is completely, like, overcosted and compared to other. Yeah. Things that give one action.
Yeah, like maybe one day things will be different. If we get like a pile of that faded stuff that like we've been starting to get in green, where like it rewards you for the number of actions taken in a turn, and with this guy and a Leo, you can just be like, let's go. But
maybe
right now he's got a point in brain that should be literally anywhere else.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of fear to be like, no, it's a little bit spooky in the. The core set. I'm curious to see how he does with Thieves Kit. If that helps him unlock him a little bit. You have like more of because like he's like you want to build him as a fighter because you're like Guardian. I know what he does, but like maybe he's gonna live better as a Clover. Maybe because I get like with Thieves Kit, right? Yeah. Like you get the level 3 version. It basically just gives you an additional action if you succeed by 2. If you succeed by 2, you hit Investigate at 6. Is that enough? Who knows?
I mean, like, foot is the cheapest thing you can ever buy.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they literally like, please take it.
Yeah, right. Like the only part of the game where it's ever costed the same as anything else is on the tarot card, but you're not supposed to pay for it anyway. So,
do you know what we should do? Something that because you said it recently, and I've been thinking about it a bunch. We should do for the podcasts. We should do one where we talk about each stat, because you said like how Fist is now like the weakest stat overall.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun thing to break down. If you want to see that, let us know in the comments.
I saw a really neat custom version of Skids where he started with permanent in play that gave you -1 brain, +1 punch, and -1 sanity. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was kind of neat.
That would make him a little more aligned with the rogues.
Even if he just had 5 foot, he'd still be in a happier place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though he would have the exact same stat line as Winifred.
Yeah.
Who is not just him, but better. I promise.
Well, he would get better card pool there.
Mm-hmm. Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I played him recently, and it wasn't as awful because I tempered my expectations going in, but I think in compared to everybody else, he is lower grade than all of them. Yeah.
A lot of them just get free action to do their thing anyway.
Yeah, like Daisy, she just get free action.
Yeah. Like, admittedly, this is more versatile.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
And the going rate for buying an extra action is 2 money and a card, and he doesn't have to pay the card.
Yep. Yeah.
But how often are you playing the card that gives you an action for 2 money?
I mean, like, I should be playing it in that Wendy Adams deck. It'd be nuts.
Yeah, probably.
There's a lot of sweet things I could do with an action during someone else's turn.
Like draw a card.
Like play 21 or bust and make you wait for me to be done with the chaos.
Yeah, Travis like, I'm going to investigate. Bryn's like, hold up. I'm going to just do a bit of damage.
Turn.
No. 1. Should I keep going? He recognizes it over after every decision.
I just want to use my flashlight.
All right, let's hop into Dunwich, and you should all be able to guess who this is going to be. Jim Culver.
Toot toot.
Toot toot.
Yeah, this one's also not a particularly exciting discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a bad mystic. That's all there is.
Yeah, because we've kind of memed it to the point where...
It's not really a meme anymore. It's just kind of sad.
Yeah. Like, I will admit that he does get better when you're playing on the harder difficulties because the skull is much more dangerous.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything.
But we also just generally all of our focus on this channel is standard because we play standard.
Yeah.
So on standard, Jim, more zeros. And then, like, the game knows, you're like, hey, I want to hit a skull here. And they're like, no problem, +1. And they're like, you know? Yeah. And, it's his investigator text is just the most boring thing.
It does nothing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would argue that Jenny's is, like, a little bit more
Jenny's
boring.
is a little bit more boring. That is true.
This one's not far behind.
Yeah.
At least you have to think about this one and realize how boring it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny's just like, more money, more problems? Less problems? Who knows? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
More skulls.
More
less
skulls,
problems.
less problems. I love it because every time, too, you get something new with Jim, and you're like, oh, I get something new with Jim, and I'm like,
Well, what do you mean you?
maybe this is it. No. Because even like Nikosi, he's probably
You're
better.
so hyped about that, and you're just like...
I tried it. It's better still just put him in a curse deck. Or someone said on Arkham, the subreddit, was really... you play him in Dream Eaters, where you know that when you then make the cat on your side, and then just make that your token. And then just be like, Nikosi's like, it's a cat! It's a cat! It's a cat! That seems sick.
Does seem good.
Much better than just drawing a 0.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes you get to do 3 damage. Maybe.
All right, let's go on to Path to Carcosa, which was actually a little bit of a tricky one for us.
It was.
It was. So, Bryn, you put Min.
She's just a bad yellow character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's got kind of a boring card pool. I will admit scavenging is really strong.
Yeah.
But, like, wear 5 book. I could just play somebody else and get 5 book.
It's in her ability.
That's what you said in the video.
Yeah, but I can't see that here. I can only see the card art.
That is
Oh,
true.
yeah, okay,
that
that's
is
fair.
true, yeah.
That's fair.
I
Not
mean-
understandable. You might forget about it.
I mean, in all fairness, like, when it comes to Carcosa, all of them are good, right? Like,
That's like the primary issue here. Like, I'm not saying that Minty Fan is trash and you should never ever play with her. She's binder fodder. Get that garbage out of here. What I'm saying is that I think she's the worst one of the bunch. Like, we got guys like Mark Harrigan, who's arguably the best combat character in the game.
Yeah.
Or at least in the running.
We got Will York, who's also
Will
arguably
York,
one of the
who's like
best
arguably one of the
combat
best combat characters in the game. Because like he'll never die.
Yeah.
Safina's a great flex investigator.
Safina, who just does everything and doesn't explode ever.
Yeah.
And then Akachi, who, like, if you're playing with the powerful charge assets,
Yeah.
like,
They're good, yes.
she's very good at it. She has 5 brain to make use of them.
That's
And, like, an extra go.
Yeah, and I think at this point too, going forward, none of the, even when it comes to the weakest that we think for each cycle, it's not comparable to like Jim and Dunwich, right? Like, it's very much like all of them at this point now, apart from maybe like 1 or 2 more exceptions personally for us, they're good. Like Akachi, I think she's good. I just think for like Mystics, for like in compared to other Mystics, she's on the lower end, which makes her for me on the lower end of Carcosa.
Yeah, I know this isn't what this video is about, but if you're just starting out at this game, you should definitely pick up the Carcosa Investigator.
Yes, yeah, they're very good.
Like, these guys, like, this one's stacked.
And even too, going through
There's no bad investigators.
the card pool. The card pool is like, well, it doesn't have staples. It has a lot of really good tools for a lot of decks. Yeah.
No, the reason I put Akashi on here was mostly because for card pool, she has like a similar stat line to a lot of other purple investigators, but they just have better cards on her. Like you can play charges from the colors, but it's kind of like you get like suggestion, but I just play like
Miss Aurelia from
Miss Aurelia.
Suggestion never runs out.
It's true.
Yeah, but how many times do you need to evade before you've lost the game?
How many snakes do you have to fight?
I don't know, you just kill them.
That one also comes with like the 4 is just like dodges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is, like,
that part's not
kinda
awful,
sick.
but
Yeah.
Especially because you get an extra one, and if you have her unique, you can just be like, I will never be attacked again.
yeah.
It
I'd
ki-
still rather be playing like Red Zerta 2 on Agnes rather than that, though.
And it kind of lives in the point too where like it's where Finn is, where a lot of the illicit cards are in green. A lot of the things with charges are already in her card pool anyway. Yeah. But I think all of them are good, and like this is not saying that these are bad. They're just what we view as the weakest here. Let's go to the Forgotten Age. Bryn, this one's a different one all across the board.
Wow.
We were saying when you were here that this cycle, they're like none of them are particularly flashy,
great.
except for maybe
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is true.
Finn's good, but I wouldn't say he's great.
The only thing Leo Anderson has going for him, because he is like possibly the worst blue character in the game. Carson Sinclair does not exist as of the production of this video.
As of August 10th, 2022.
So like, yeah, I'll take that as a point in my defense. But the only thing he's really got going for him is that you get to play the green firearm cards too.
Yeah.
So if you're playing big guns, like, Leo Anderson could be your man, but also Mark Harrigan can play most of those green gun cards too, because they're tactics. And like the whole play allies thing, Blue's weakness is that everything costs $1 bajillion. So like one less than $1 bajillion is like still
Still pretty
functionally
high.
like it's the same thing. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's like if quadratic equations taught me anything, it's that as things approach infinity, we can start ignoring real numbers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's fair because he is definitely on the lower end of my Guardian tier list too, because
Yeah.
he's just not particularly great.
Yeah, like if he had
2 book and like 5 punch or
2
something
book
like
and
that.
5 punch, like this guy would be insane. Actually.
Yeah.
The 3 book though does allow him to flex a bit, but then again that does makes him so he's weaker because flexes generally will be weaker because they can kind of just be jack of all
And
trades.
like the one point in foot, it mostly doesn't hurt you, but like man, when it hurts, it hurts.
Yeah. You mean like when you get bit by a snake?
Or well, I mean, getting bit by a snake isn't such a big deal with Leo because you're
True.
just like, Mitch, get in there.
Just like no.
Yeah. Or what have you, but more like when you run into ants.
Yes.
And
Oh
they're
yeah.
like, would you like
Throw
to
away
discard
everything.
everything?
Yeah.
And you're like, not really, but like, here we go.
Yeah. It's also true that like it just sucks that he like somehow always seems to get tree hands.
That is weird.
Yeah,
Like
that
especially
is
when you're like your
unfortunate.
fighter. Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah. Mine is Calvin. And I think a big thing for this is that I know his stats can get really high. But then, like, what do you do with it apart from just, like, test stat v Shroud? Because 90% of your deck is to allow you to not die when you're there, right?
You play like, what's it called? Will to survive and then test stat v nothing.
Be nothing, yeah. It's like, I'm not going to say that, like, I know you can do things with Kelvin, but I think that you have to spend so much time and effort to get to a point where you're functioning. And so much of your thing is to then make sure you don't die when everyone else just, like, doesn't die and then also succeeds, right? Yeah, I don't have much to say. I just think he's kind of... But I'm also... You could roll the dice. This could have been Father Mateo for me. Even Bryn has convinced me this could have even been Leo. But
Like they're the investigators don't pick this one up as your first expansion if you it's not the video this is still. But
Yeah.
like these guys are pretty soft. Like Calvin writes a tank in
Carcosa.
well yeah, I mean in Carcosa too, but also in the Circle Undone.
yeah.
There's like several encounters where you show up as Calvin and you're just like, let's go.
Yeah, because you have to test multiple stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, add all your number together, and you're like, I have 23.
Yeah. I think it's like, wait a minute. Wait.
How do you get 23?
+1 effects
Yeah.
on your allies.
Okay.
What about you, Travis? What do you got here?
I picked Ursula. I don't like how she has... Like, her stat line is not bad, but it's not good. Being 4 book as a Seeker is tough. And 1 fist is good, but having the rest of those points in, like, foot instead of other things is not a great place to be, especially with the options that Seeker has to deal with enemies just in general. On top of, like, it is difficult for me to say that Seeker is the worst investigator in a cycle because Seeker cards are so good. They generally just make up for any sort of shortcomings that Seekers themselves have. But her ability is just, like, you get the privilege of making a test. So, like, you have to fulfill a condition to do it. Like, so you have to move to trigger it, and then there has to be a clue on location you're moving to do it, and then you also have to pass the test with, like, a subpar stat for that test. And it all combines to just not be great, especially with her deck building. The whole relic stuff doesn't bring a ton to her deck building, I find.
Mm-hmm.
Most relics you want to play are already yellow, as is tradition. Like
Except the green ones.
Yeah, but you're probably better off just like spending your experience on good yellow cards, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
In a lot of cases. Like, I guess you could use, like, the bow to fight things, but then, like, just...
Then where's your magnifying glasses go?
Yeah.
Well,
just...
Dr. Ellie's holding the bow, and you're just like,
okay.
shoot that guy.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But Brent's like, but then Trav's like, but then where's my Dr. Milan?
Yeah, where's my static book boost? It's coming up on par with all their seekers.
Yeah. Well, you're playing the Taro card.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think she has gotten like a little bit better than she used to be with the cards that exist to make Monterey Jack good.
Mm-hmm. The ones that they printed that she can play.
That's most of them.
It's not like lizard green stuff. She
Hiking
can't play like
boots
Scout
are
Ahead or
probably
anything.
not.
Hiking boots are probably pretty okay.
Yeah.
You can find something to do with your feet.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go to Circle Undone, which is next. Bryn!
Why didn't you pick Rita, Bryn?
Oh, because somebody in the Discord said they would hurt me.
Yeah. Please stop threatening Bryn.
I'm not going to name names here.
I wake up to a message in my Discord every morning. Every Wednesday, if you say bad things about Rita today.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I just really don't like Marie Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
I can never find a situation where I want to play her instead of another mystic, even like a different mystic from her cycle. It's just like she's got 4 brain, she's got 4 book, but like what the hell do I care? I get to play purple cards.
Yeah.
I don't need to use book for investigating. Like she might get a little better with some of the stuff for Zinedine Zidane. But like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I mean,
either way, I just like I don't like her.
Yeah. In all fairness, Travis and I even said this could have been Marie for us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Rita's. I mean, I've only played Marie, like, she's never impressed me, right? Like, that's the big thing. I don't think she's bad, but she just never has impressed me. And when I'm looking to be impressed, like, the people who don't are going to be my weakest. Rita is also there for me. And I think a lot of this just comes from that she's missing. Like, Marie is still a mystic, so she can still just play Shriveling, right?
Yeah.
Which makes her more consistent than someone like Rita can be. I think Rita's good. I'm not on the Rita hate train that I used to be back in the day. But, like, Combat Rita is a good time, but I still think that just generally her card pool limits Rita, even if it has gotten much better in recent time.
Yeah, like, her stat line's pretty okay, but they just haven't really... They didn't really... like, the 5 brain is a little tough. She's a survivor, so she can kind of get away with it, but then...
Yeah, she also has 5 brain, yeah.
Yeah, like, the 5 foot, there's just not enough to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting extra moves at track shoes. Like, you might play Belly of the Beast once.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it also doesn't help...
You can play Pilfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Pilfer is good with,
like, there's the trick 0, level 0 cards is, like, kind of real.
Yeah. I think it also doesn't help that her signature is so useless, and then her weakness is, like, one of the harshest weaknesses in the game.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yeah, but, like, at least you get to feel really cool when you play her signature.
As a skill card.
I'm done running. Committed for points.
Yeah, I'm done running. I'll resign. Yeah, no, like, it's just, she's just below rate a little bit. She's...
Yeah.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, underwhelming.
Yeah. I do find that, like, unlike Marie, she at least has a niche.
That is true. That is true.
As opposed, like, to Marie, where it's kind of like, you want to put Doom on your cards?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, not really.
She's like a 4 action mystic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Which I think is, like, because I've heard people say that, like, I can see her being good if you play, like, solo. A 4-action mystic is huge.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as you get to, like, when we play commonly on 3-player, that extra action to, like, yeah, I mean, read the signs is sick, but at the same time, like, the tempo we've already gained so much from other places, it's less impressive when you get to 3 players.
Yeah.
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 All right, let's go on to Dream Eaters. Bryn.
Yeah, so Tommy Muldoon isn't even the best combat character in this box.
It's true.
He's just, like, so boring.
He is very boring.
And, like, having said that, I'm definitely going to play him at least one more time. Because we got a trading card deck that we got to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, he's, like, his pool is strong. His ability is strong. 4 punch is not great, but, like, you know, whatever.
It's serviceable.
You got blue cards, you can probably figure your way out of that. 3s and a 2, like, yeah. It's just.
Yeah, his stat line is a little bit.
He's got, like, pretty much the same numbers that Leo does.
Yeah, we know how you think about him.
And, yeah. Yeah, like, the difference between 2 and 1 foot, you're actually just losing a point of brain for nothing.
That is true,
2
yeah.
and 1 is pretty much the same. You're going to fail the test, so, like, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Not being played butterfly swords more efficiently.
Why would I ever do that?
It's 2 swords.
Count them.
Yeah, when I was looking at this, it was pretty much just not Luke,
Not the
Tony,
other
or Mandy
ones.
because they're like really strong. And for me, Tommy could have been here, but I do think that Patrice's floor is lower than Tommy's. So
I just like throwing away my cards for nothing.
that is true. That is a fair point. I never considered that for myself. Maybe I should think of that. Look inside myself and examine that. I understand the Patrice. I mean, I don't think also that Tommy's like bad. I think he is. Same with Patrice. I don't think they're bad. I think they're weaker than the other 3 in their deck, in their box, because like.
Yeah, this one is much the same to me, where, like, Patrice has a cool niche to exploit.
Yeah.
And Tommy is just kind of like, you want to play some blue cards, kid?
That's true.
No, I think Tommy like has some neat decks for me. He plays like bodyguard archetype pretty well. We can play like a Weird's Mobile. I take damage to get clues. Blue-red deck. Especially with his 3 book is serviceable.
Yeah.
To get spare clues and stuff like that. I pick a Patrice just because I find her card pool is not great. Red 5 is not a great place to be.
What do you mean?
And like having your good stat be brain and then only being able to play level 2 purple things where like it's still, I don't like how Rite of Seeking and Mists of Rayla are 2 and 4 for their upgrades. All the other ones are 3-5. Like why would you do that?
So that Patrice can't play them.
Yeah, they knew they actually had in their design notes. They were like, we would like to screw Patrice in particular.
Patrice
Well, I mean,
can't be
just
allowed to
in
fight.
general,
She's a musician. Her hands are important.
No, but I get what you're saying. It also bothers me too that like you kind of have to play cornered in Patrice.
You have to. I say you have to play cornered or like
Mind's
Mind's
Eye?
Eye.
Yeah.
You have to play one of them, but you have to play specifically cornered, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, no, she is like very limited in what her deck building is. Yeah, her stat line is just trash. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, anytime that you're looking at someone's stat line and you're like, Zinedine Zidane makes this look good.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, it's not really fair. Zidane
Right.
gets 2 more stat points.
yeah, this is also true.
All right. Let's hop into Edge of the Earth next. No, Innsmouth.
Got yourself good.
I did. I got bamboozled. All right, Brent, you got Amanda Sharp.
Yeah, I'd like to hear you
she's got fucking 2s.
Yeah, we were just yelling at
Like-
Patrice. She had 3 2s and a 4.
This one doesn't even have a 4. I have never played Amanda Sharp, and honestly, I probably never will.
Yeah. Man, there was a sound
Because
in the
she's like
distance
not good.
when we
probably, I don't
revealed
know.
this slide, and it was just the sound of like 1,000 spikes gasping. They were like, there's no way.
Like, how can she be good? No, I haven't really read what her card does.
I mean,
She's
actually,
got 2s. It can't be good.
I mean, we've never played her in a group with all 3 of us either.
No, we haven't.
No. Yeah.
All we need though is like one more investigator with all 2s, and then we can just play all 2s.
I'm hoping that we can do that. We can eventually do like an all 1 run, an all 2 run, and an all 3 run.
I mean, like we can make our own with Calvin and just don't take damage.
Yeah, I'm never allowed to take damage. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Travis and I, we said, Sister Mary, I'll throw it to you first.
Yeah, so she's, again, like, not bad. She's just, the other ones are all really good.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah.
She's not, there's nothing particularly awful about her. Her styleline's a little bit awkward, I guess, but, and she's kind of shoehorned a little bit into playing with the blessed tokens. But there's nothing wrong with her. Yeah. No, the other ones are just, like, good.
Yeah.
She is pretty sweet though. She basically puts extra red tokens into the bag. Sometimes you draw 2 yellow.
I mean, Bryn does draw
you're just
a lot.
Yeah, cool. We're good here.
Yeah.
Anyway, get those out of the bag.
It doesn't actually change your odds of drawing the red.
It does
no,
for
it
Bryn.
does.
It does for Bryn because
I don't know how
we don't know how.
This is some non-Euclidean math.
It was in our it's the most recent best of I edited for Arkham. There was 8 times that Bryn drew a blessed token, and 6 of those went to an auto fail.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts.
Yeah, it was really because I was doing fine. I was like, let's go, and then Bryn was like, all right, here's my auto fail. Yeah. All right, now we're on to Edge of the Earth. Bryn, you have Norman Withers, and once again, the sound of it.
What are you doing?
He's old. I get it. He's an old man.
He's only got 1 foot.
He might die before the campaign's over.
Yeah.
And he won't even have taken any damage.
Mm-hmm. Bryn's like,
yeah, I mean 5 foot is invincible, so.
Yeah.
This guy, he just shows up and you're like, I'm gonna play a game of Arkham, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You better test 5v Shroud. And you're like, Norman, I wanted to play a game of Arkham, and he's like, 5v Shroud is the only thing you're allowed to do, except move when there are no more clues. And you're like, oh, cool, can I at least play cards off the top of my deck? And he's like, no, there are only events that don't do anything right now.
It makes sense for why you think he's the worst now.
I mean, Bryn's experience with Norman was the event.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much why I think he's bad.
And then he's like, and you must kill Preston.
Yeah. I mean, that part was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was good.
Where he's like, now you must also kill Preston.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
We are now finished doing 5v Shroud.
Preston must die. I'll let you start with Monterey Jack.
Okay. This is another case where he's not necessarily bad. He's just the worst of the bunch. I found his deck building to be very awkward, where he does get access to high level yellow cards, but a lot of the cards that support them and make them good are available at low level. Let's say yellow. Which, again, being green doesn't have access to. And then he doesn't get access to, a lot of the green cards work together with other green cards, but he only gets some of those. That's also pretty awkward. Having 4 book and 5 foot when book is the thing that you're, wanting to do is not great in general. And his ability kind of compels you to move around, which isn't always good.
The power of green compels you.
Watch as I take this yellow character and make them bad.
Behold.
It's that meme with the guy from the Powerpuff Girls, and he's pouring in, he's got high level yellow cards, and he's got balanced stat line, he's got free cards and resources, and then he's like, oh no, green cards.
Yeah, for me, I actually think all the Edge of the Earth investigators are good. I think they're all very nice. They have good stat lines. I hate their deck building. I hate Edge of the Earth deck building. I hope they never come back to that because I don't like it. And I think Monterey Jack, Travis, because I was gonna put Lily because I don't like Lily, but I think her ceiling is higher than Monterey Jack's ceiling, and even though I think her floor is lower, I think Lily can get stronger than Monterey Jack can get at the end of the game. And also with that said, though, I do think, as what Travis was saying, the floor for Monterey Jack is also pretty low because of the awkward 4 book, and you only get 5 yellow cards. But I do think he's going to love the Thieves Kit when that comes out, too. That's going to be really nice for him, and I think that's going to really help him.
The level 0-1.
Level 0-1. But I mean, like, I think that's still pretty good because it's 6 money. It's like...
Yeah, it'll be a nice replacement for lockpicks for him.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you can use that to discover clues and then use it to pay for your pilfer. Laugh your way to the clue bank. That's a thing, right? I don't do this part.
It is, yeah. No, we love the clue bank.
The clue bank's good. No, like a lot of the cards he has access to are just really awkward because the yellow cards want you to do everything with book, and then the green cards want you to do everything with foot, and they don't really gel.
He's like 2 men mixed together. He's like, which one am I today?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The starter decks. You guys each have Winifred.
Oh, we did. We agreed on something.
I'm going to lead off by saying that Winifred is my favorite one of these investigators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that she is the most interesting one.
She is the cool one. She's also, like, strong, but it's really hard to argue with 5 in a number that just does something without you having to make it do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is I think she's, like, a little bit subpar in general, especially, like, in standalones where you have a bunch of weaknesses in your deck that you have to run through a whole bunch of times. But
yeah, that does definitely hurt.
Yeah, like, didn't pick Nathaniel Cho because I think he's very efficient at killing things, and he's just boring. Well, I mean, they're all kind of boring, but and then Harvey Walters is like 4 brain and 5 book and free cards.
You can't argue with 5 book.
And then Stella and Jacqueline are both like. They both just get to ignore the game.
Yeah.
So, that leaves Winifred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're all good. I think all of them are good. Part of me chose Nathaniel Cho because, break it up a bit. But also because I generally think that green cards are just better than blue cards when it all comes down to it. And Winifred can do more with less than Nathaniel Cho can. Because Nathaniel Cho, you get your boxing gloves and you play your events, which is good. You progress the game. But I think Winifred, she can adapt. She's going to get these Thieves Kits that are going to come out. Give her lockpicks, give her Lucky Cigarette Case. She's never going to run out of cards. In addition, if you do like the whole card grind where you're just like, I'm going to commit 2 cards to this test, draw a card, just keep doing that, you can do pretty much anything. And I just think that her ceiling is higher than Nathaniel Cho's. I think, like, the floor for Nathaniel, like, he's just good, but I do think that I think Winifred is just a tiny bit stronger for me, just a tiny bit.
It's an opinion.
Yeah,
it is an opinion. Yeah. I will say that, like, Winifred does play very well in a build-around strategy because you just have your own built-in card selection tool where you're just like, these ones aren't the one I want. I'm going to throw 2 of them away for a new one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also I just think that green cards are also just stronger than blue cards, which helps this because they're all kind of locked in their their color for these guys.
It's not unfair, but
yeah, Nacho does do like a ton of damage.
He does do a ton of damage. Yeah.
Is like I didn't pick Nacho. Like, the argument against him, in my opinion, is because I would never play him if I wasn't trying to kill things, and he's very good at that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah,
but I do see what you're saying, where that is the only thing he gets to do, whereas Winifred can do other things sometimes.
Yeah, and as I said, I preface this, I kind of just also...
Tests.
like fail brain tests.
I mean, you give her, like, Green has so many tools now that, like, you don't even fret about those anymore. Like, they're tools to deal with brains. It's, like, not even a thing.
Yeah.
But I also, as I said, I started this being, like, just to give... So we're not all like, it's Winifred. Yeah. Because I think they're all good. I think all of them are good.
I didn't have an issue with when it was Skids and Jim.
I mean, and actually, in all fairness,
no argument there.
I could have. I also don't think Roland's that great anymore. It could have been Roland, but Skids is my least favorite investigator, so I have to. If I did that, everyone would be like, "What the heck, Justin? I thought you hate Skids," and I do.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to parallels, and this one's kind of like just for shits and giggles because I've never played Parallel Daisy. I've never played Parallel Roland, and neither of them really excite me that much. So this could have been any of them.
Bryn's
of
least
either of those two.
favorite parallel investigator is Corset Wendy.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. She is probably the worst parallel investigator because she's not one.
Due to the fact that she's not one.
Yeah.
This is here because we didn't have a slide built for parallel Wendy.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what she does.
Justin didn't.
No, Bryn and I build them
Yeah,
together.
no,
we get together on the weekends and we make make stuff together. Yeah.
It's kind
Oh,
of.
that's what you're doing Sunday nights.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I tell you that I'm playing games with my family, but
Yeah.
Just hang
I'm
out
out
with
here.
Justin.
I'm out here building slides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, wow.
No, I don't know what she does, but what she doesn't do is discard cards to draw new tokens. So she can't be good. And that's all I have to say about that. Yeah.
No, I said she discards tokens to draw new cards. Like, kind of.
Yeah, I don't actually really know what any of the parallel ones do. Like, I know Roland gets to like pick directives, and then he's like, I must play the game like a robot.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat. And I know Daisy Walker gets to play with Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah, it's also kind of
Which
neat.
Yeah,
is
that's a
like-
point in
Yeah,
your favor.
it's a thing. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I know.
Yeah. What about you for Parallel Daisy?
I don't really think like they've printed some cards that give you a reason to play her over base Daisy, but why?
Yeah.
Base Daisy's so good.
I think in terms of like the parallels, the other ones are just more successful in terms of like fitting the flavor of the investigator while feeling different than that investigator.
Yeah, like the back half parallel Daisy is like okay. It's just different. You lose out on a lot of powerful mystic cards. And some of the powerful seekers, and then the front side is just kind of like you start with bad stats and it takes so long to set up and so many resources and card draws and stuff to like get that powerful turn off. Like you're better off I think you're always going to be better off basically just kind of playing the game and accruing value through the free action you get on tomes off of playing like an old book of lore or whatever. So
Yeah. You should have seen that coming. All right. Thank you so much, everybody who watched this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Who are your weakest investigators from each cycle? You let us know in the comments, or if you want to yell at us. I know some people are probably going to yell at Travis about Ursula. Some people are going to yell at Bryn about Amanda. And
She's no good.
people will yell at me about Nathaniel Cho probably for that one too. But that's good. We want you to yell at us. Next week, we're going to be talking about our personal favorites from each cycle. So list will have the most variety for sure.
Copy paste.
Yeah. Could you imagine? We're just like, don't delete the pictures. Just keep them going.
Just keep them there. It's good.
Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.